Namaskar and welcome to Global FinTech Fest 2025, where the today and tomorrow of finance is being explored. I am your tour guide Gautam Srinivasan, and well, we're here at the PayU booth. It's a leading payment solutions provider for over 5 lakh businesses here in India. And joining me is Anirban Mukherjee, CEO at PayU, to talk about powering digital India, the PayU vision. Anirban, great to have you with us.
Great to be here.
Fantastic. Looking forward to having this conversation because the ecosystem of small businesses is evolving rapidly. Now, PayU has been a key player in shaping India's fintech landscape. So I want to understand from you what's coming up in the next 5 years. What's the vision for PayU in the next 5 years?
PayU's vision is to be indispensable to digital commerce in India. We are weaving ourselves into the very fabric of digitization and commerce in the country. Every merchant in India should have the best digital solutions at the lowest cost possible. That's where we have that's been our focus. We are a merchant-centric ecosystem. So we serve merchants with payments, but increasingly with credit and other solutions as well.
All right, smoother business with access to credit. Keeping that in mind, what are going to be the key priorities for enablement? Because this landscape is changing so rapidly. So as a leading payment solutions provider for so many businesses in India, what are going to be the key priorities for enabled at PayU?
So three main priorities. Our first one is to continue this wave of digitization and digitize every small merchant in the country. We still have a long way to go, and I expect us to digitize 10 million merchants over the next 5 years. That's one. Second is provide credit for this digital commerce ecosystem. Sellers should be able to sell more, buyers should be able to buy more, and we become a facilitator of that credit flow in the commerce ecosystem. And third is value-added solutions. Look, Gen AI is going to change a lot of things. Technology is evolving very rapidly. How do you keep the small merchant in march with that technology? How do you enable them to grow their business as this technology evolves? So those are the three priorities.
And you've got some ambitious targets that you mentioned there. So as we wrap up this conversation, I want to ask you about how does MindGate fit into PayU's growth strategy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We love the partnership with MindGate. As you know, we have increased our stake to 70%. Amazing founders. Look, MindGate is the quintessential UPI company, built in India for India and the world. As you can see, UPI is becoming a full payment system. We are here at GFF. You saw all the launches on UPI, from FX to more credit products to other UPI products. We are a merchant-centric ecosystem. They serve the banks. Together, we can take UPI to the next level. That's the vision behind the MindGate partnership.
All right, the payment revolution will not just be televised, it will be digitized. Anirban, thank you so much for joining us here at the Global FinTech Fest.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
I'm at the PayU booth. Well, it's a fintech leader which is all about global reach with local expertise. With me is Deepak Mendiratta. He's the CEO at PayU Finance, and he's going to be talking about powering digital India, the PayU vision. Deepak, great to have you on board Global FinTech Fest 2025. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Gautam. Pleasure to be here.
When we look at the MSME universe, it is rapidly expanding, but there are still gaps, especially credit access. So what is PayU Finance doing to address those gaps?
So, when we say gaps, we first need to start by saying gap kya hai? Where does this come in, right? Think of a typical MSME, think of a typical lending product. It doesn't work. Why does it not work? Aapke cash flows are not consistent. They are not the way a typical customer would. It's not like 10th of the month I have to pay an EMI and my cash flow maps to that. It doesn't work that way. So everyday business is different. So what each MSME wants is a product for them. It is a product that says, how does repayment map to them? How does it match their cash flows? How does a journey map for them? So can they onboard easily? Can they get access to funds easily? That's the journey we are on. The journey we are on is being able to look at a platform for every MSME, be able to map their cash flows, be able to say how does the business operate, what is their repayment capacity basis that business, basis that we'll be able to lend to them. That's our play today. That's what we are doing. We're powering about 3.5 lakh MSMEs with loans today and hopefully growing from here.
This Global FinTech Fest is also about partnerships. Let me focus this conversation on the partnership that you're having with Swiggy that was announced at the GFF. So could you share how this collaboration with Swiggy will support the restaurant partners on the platform in accessing credit?
Right, so when we think about Swiggy, when we think about ordering food from Swiggy, what we don't start thinking about is the restaurant behind, right? But there is something that we know and that Swiggy knows very uniquely between the two, which is what is that restaurant doing? What is the kind of business flows that they have? What are the kind of orderings that they see? What are their peaks? What are the low points? And hence, when do they need funding, right? So that's what the platform brings together. That's what partnership is all about. That's where we can come together and say, hey, we know what to make of that data. They know they have access to the merchant. That's what enables us to create them that loan offering and partner and be able to uniquely bring it together and be able to serve it. You don't have to go outside. You're within the Swiggy ecosystem. You're within the app. There's a simple tab. Go into the personal loans tab, apply, and that's where you get the loan.
And that's where the magic happens, because it's seamless journeys for anyone accessing or trying to access credit. They get it all within the platform.
Absolutely.
So that there is no friction. On that note, let me wrap up this conversation with a question to you about maintaining the balance. The idea is striking the right balance between making credit accessible and, of course, having sustainable lending practices. Can you share with our viewers how PayU Finance is making that balance happen in the right way? What frameworks are you using to ensure sustainable growth?
Okay, so it has to be sustainable, right? So that's the responsibility that we take when we look at a lender, as a lender, when we look at a customer, when we look at a borrower and say, take a loan from us, what we are doing in this process. We are looking at you and saying, do you have the ability to handle the loan? Do you have the ability to repay the loan? This is what we've been discussing for the last few minutes. It's about looking at you, looking at your business, looking at your cash flows, giving you a loan that we think you can repay. Whether it's, and we'll match your business pattern. Do you want to repay weekly? Do you want to repay daily? Do you want to repay monthly? That's the responsibility that we take partnering with you on our platform to say, lending is responsible. This is what we'll bring to the table. We will work with you. We will help you grow your business.
All right, making lending responsible so that at the end of the day, this improved access in credit is responsible for MSMEs going exponentially. That's the story bringing out of PayU. Deepak, thank you so much for joining us here at the Global FinTech Fest 2025 and sharing the PayU Finance.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you.